Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So I want to talk about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon and some big announcements. So first of all, Comic-Con is next week, but we actually do have some confirmation here that we're going to have one of the actors actually there. So I want to talk about that, and I also want to talk about some of the backstory stuff that we're likely going to see in this upcoming episode here of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. The episode is airing in 2 days from now. We're going to get a teaser tomorrow. We're going to be getting a bunch of stuff here, and yeah, the next week or week and a half here is really going to be insane. So before going any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this, and definitely go follow me on Twitch. My channel name is Appetite for the Dead. I will be streaming live during the Comic-Con panel here, reacting to all of the news here, because again, this is going to be a really big event here. We got the confirmation here on Twitter or X from The Walking Dead that says, or this post here says, "Get ready, Norman Reedus is coming to New York Comic-Con. At the Daryl Dixon panel on Thursday, October 12th, he'll answer questions and maybe even drop some big news." And so we have the official confirmation here of the dates, which obviously that's an Eastern Standard Time, so 4:15 Eastern Standard. Coordinate that with your schedules or whatever if you're able to actually watch this event here. If not, obviously I will be doing a video breaking down all of the highlights and all the news and whatnot. And I'm very excited for this. This is going to be really massive here. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this. This Comic-Con event really came out of nowhere, and I think is going to be way more massive than the one that we got at San Diego Comic-Con, because that one there, yes, we got the trailers and stuff, but like really there wasn't a lot of announcements of anything. There was really, I mean, the actors couldn't be there. There really wasn't a lot that was announced or anything. It was just sort of, here's the trailers for this and that, and here's the release date for whatever. Like that was pretty much it. I guess there wasn't really an announcement, actually, that I'm thinking about it, for season 2. I think that happened afterwards. Oh no, actually, never mind. That did happen at the event, so I guess that was sort of the announcement here. But this year at New York Comic-Con, obviously we got the confirmation that they are for sure giving us a Rick and Michonne teaser, so that's going to be really exciting in itself, because we're actually getting some new footage here. I'm guessing it's going to be longer than the 30 seconds that we got. I'm hoping so anyway, so that's very exciting. You know, in terms of anything that's going to be new for footage, they could reveal another trailer or something for Fear the Walking Dead. But I mean, we've already gotten an official trailer and all that for that. So, you know, I feel like a lot of it is going to be, again, the event is 2 hours long. There's going to be a lot of stuff, obviously, on Daryl. I think Daryl Dixon is going to be like the big focus here for this panel, because Norman Reedus is actually going to be there. And obviously he's going to be answering a bunch of questions and all of that. And this is what I'm excited about. This is honestly what I'm very excited about, because I've talked about this for like, I feel like I've always sort of mentioned that like it's exciting, or maybe season 10 was the last season where it actually kind of happened. Because yeah, actually that makes sense. Like, I've always mentioned that Comic-Con is exciting because of the announcements and all that, but what was always sort of more exciting is when the fans would ask, you know, Scott Gimple or some of the actors questions, and, you know, sometimes would ask the questions that a lot of maybe journalists and stuff are too afraid to ask, right? Like they'll be like, someone might ask Daryl, so do you hope to ever, you know, reunite with Rick? Are there plans for you to ever reunite with Rick, kind of thing? Like a question like that not a lot of journalists and stuff will ask, because I mean, one, you know, that's kind of a hard question to ask too, because like they might not know, and it's also like, you know what I mean, like fans will definitely ask that, and fans, you know, because they're excited to know that. And so based off of their response and all of that, there's a lot to read into with that, right? So that's why it's exciting, because depending on what they say, you know, that's really like, you can get a lot from that. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really interested in knowing the questions that are asked and just what's going down with all of that there, you know what I mean? And you never know, like he could literally hint at like maybe a possible, you know, season 2 of Rick and Michonne, because the actors know stuff like that, right? And a lot of times, a lot of these little details leak because the other actors know stuff and they accidentally say something, right? Like in terms of Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he posted on Twitter or whatever that, you know, he's so excited for Melissa McBride to come back as Carol, and that wasn't officially announced at all. It still has not been officially announced, I don't believe. Like I could be wrong, but I don't think it's been officially announced yet. It's just sort of been talked about or referenced there. Like there is a lot of stuff, and I do want to mention as well, because I mentioned in my Rick video that, you know, there hasn't been any official confirmation of any casting outside of Pearl Thorne, and I am right with that. A lot of people were saying, well, no, there was Major General Beale and this and that. There's nothing official on that. That was just like people who kind of know, insiders and stuff that are like, you know, posting articles or like whatever. So a lot of that has not been officially announced yet. So that's sort of, that's what's exciting about it, is the official announcement. And the reason why it's exciting is because usually, you'll get like a character description, or you'll get like this quote from the actor that will talk about this or that. So that stuff is always, very exciting in that way. And for this event, I'm just so hyped because there's a lot that I can really get into here, especially for Daryl Dixon. Like, there's a lot of questions I have about season 2 and some of the variant walker stuff, and just a lot of the filming stuff and transition. And like a big thing too that I'm kind of wondering, it's like a general vibe, but I'm really wondering just like, how do they view the future of the Walking Dead universe? And the reason why I'm wondering that is because the overall sort of feeling that we've had for a while is that it's just sort of not up in the air. Like, they do have plans, but the feeling back in season 9 and 10 was that this whole universe was going to expand, and it was going to be so, big, and we're going here and there. And it just seemed like the whole universe was expanding in all these massive ways. And it's obviously like that right now, and we're seeing it play out. But there is this feeling that I have where I'm like, I want to kind of know a little bit more. Like, do you plan on reuniting all the characters in the future? Like, is that a question you could really even ask right now, or answer right now? Like, I don't even know if Gimple or whoever could say that, right? Like, I feel like that's, first of all, spoilery, but like, that's almost something that, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of it in terms of Marvel, because Marvel, they obviously announced a lot of stuff, but there was no questions of like reunions, though there was like a lot of hints and teases that there would eventually be this big, huge, like, endgame like event that we eventually did actually get, right? So I think with Walking Dead fans, that's sort of what we're expecting. I would like some more teases at that for the future, just to kind of have an idea of where they're going. So any sort of, comments on that would be really cool. I don't know if Norman Reedus can really necessarily give us that, but any sort of, thoughts that he would have on like, where does he see Daryl going? How long does he think he'll play this role for? And, like, does he hope to reunite with Rick? Are there plans, or like what's going on with that kind of thing, right? Because we're all really wondering about that. Like, it doesn't seem like there's any reunions at all in the Rick and Michonne show. It seems like that show ends, or at least the first season or whatever it's going to be, seems to end with something just related to Rick and Michonne, and nothing related to like Judith or anything in Alexandria. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they filmed some stuff with that. Didn't really seem like it though. So it just kind of feels like, that ended in a way where there really could be a season 2, because there's still so many questions that are left unanswered in terms of the reunions with everyone else kind of thing, right? And again, there's been no official casting or information at all about Judith and RJ actually being a part of that show, and I don't think they are. So that's kind of why I feel like there's going to be a season 2, because how do you end their stories without any reunions with them or any of the other actors, or just anything, right? So I'm excited for this event. It's going to be really cool. I'm so excited to see, the Rick and Michonne teaser, and just anything new that we can learn here about the Walking Dead universe. It's going to be a really fun event. So definitely go follow me on Twitch if you haven't. I will be live streaming and live, reacting to everything there. My channel name is Appetite for the Dead. The link for that will be in the description of this video. But let's talk about this upcoming episode here, episode 5. So this episode, obviously, there's a lot of variant walker stuff and all that. I've talked about that a lot this week. I want to focus on the flashbacks, because I haven't had a lot of time to actually focus on the flashbacks and stuff that we're going to be getting in this episode. And I really do want there to be this really great explanation as to why Daryl ends up in France. And I say why because that is specifically what I want to know about. Like, I already know how, we know all of that and certain details regarding that, but I want to know, like, why did he go on that ship? Like, why did he specifically go on that ship to France? And I just want to know all the details surrounding a lot of that. And it looks like there's going to be some stuff here that I think will connect with Carol and, sort of set up her season 2 stuff. I really do view episode 5 and the flashback stuff as set up for how Carol is going to be in season 2. So I'm excited for that, because I do think we're going to really get into that here. I feel like I'm pretty confident that she's going to return in the finale. I think she probably will show up in the final episode here, probably in like literally the final scene. I've done a video on this. I think it was my last video. I answered one of the questions on that, but I really feel like that's probably going to happen. It's going to really set up season 2. And I think episode 5 will set up some backstory as to how that will happen, kind of thing. And Comic-Con is also happening next week, right? Like next Thursday, I believe, on the 12th. So that could be something that Norman Reedus announces. He could say, like, there might be something here at the end of the last episode here. So stay tuned, kind of thing, right? Like, he could tease something like that with Carol. So I'm very hyped for that. I think the one thing that's going to be really cool is sort of seeing the explosions and stuff on the ship and the variant walker stuff, because Daryl's obviously going to have fought one, and then just like, what does he do at that point? Obviously he jumps off the ship, and so the flashbacks, I think, are going to give us quite a bit of details on a lot of that. And I think the most important flashback that I'm excited about is probably, well, I mean, I guess it's kind of two things, but you know, I want to know how he gets on the ship. So I know there's a lot of footage of him just in America, just sort of on the ground looking for Rick. And that is one element to this, is he is looking for Rick. Like, that's going to be an important part to it, is he's actually out there looking for him. But something happens. So is it something that happens that is sort of random? Or is it something where he gets a clue on something, and so that's why he's on that ship, kind of thing, right? So I guess we'll find out, obviously, in this episode. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we're only 2 days away from this episode airing, so there's going to be a lot to talk about on Sunday. So anyways, I guess I'll leave it here. There's no point in me really going on about this. I mean, tomorrow we're going to get a sneak peek. There was actually one that was released, and I was going to do a video on it, but I figured there was kind of no point, because, I mean, it's exciting. Like, they talk about, or Daryl mentions, like, Judith and RJ and a lot of the other characters and whatnot. So I think he's sort of explaining to Laurent, you know, about just where he's from, kind of thing, and people that he knew, people that he's close to. So that was really cool to actually see that. But obviously there will be a sneak peek tomorrow, so we'll see if it's the same one or maybe it'll be a different one. I'll do a video on that tomorrow. Some other stuff as well. So definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.